Hey folks, welcome to the channel. It is my favorite time of year. It is hot tent season. So that means it's time to test out a new stove for this year. So for this season I purchased the Winnerwell Woodlander double view medium size. So double view means it's got a glass panel on each side of the stove, give you a little bit of ambient light while you're burning in your hot tent. Dimensional wise, you're looking at 15 inches long, you're 8 inches wide, and you're also 8 inches tall. Now with the legs deployed and all of the chimney sections, this is 94.5 inches total height, top of the chimney to the ground. So it's actually quite nice. It should work in most teepees. With past stoves, I've had to purchase extra pipe sections just to get the correct height because they just wouldn't all fit in the stove. Now because of the legs of the stove, they're quite long, so it gives you that extra height, which is going to be awesome. So you'll have to forgive me. Audio is going to be a bit terrible today. It is super windy. The weather looks like it's going to turn bad, but I'm just dying to get out and give this first initial burn. So let's set it up and we'll talk a bit about it once I bring you a bit closer. So everything you need for this setup is inside the stove, which is awesome. I hate having loose chimney sections just bouncing around, especially if you're pulling a sled behind you trying to get to your campsite. It's awful. Weight wise also, we're looking at 22.5 pounds. So it's not light. It's not crazy heavy, but it's not light. Also, when you're setting up the Winnerwell stoves, always put your damper as the first pipe section. Now I know I've seen so many people with them way up here because you don't have to lean down, but the closer it is to the fire, the less creosote buildup you're going to get in the pipe, and that's going to make a big difference for trying to turn this. If it's all built up with ash, if you're burning wet wood and you got a lot of creosote in there, this is going to be like glue. It's going to be really hard to turn. I was so excited to get out here. I'm still wearing my work clothes, but I got knee pads, which is kind of nice right now. Now, one thing I want to say, so if you guys are just getting into hot tenting and you're shopping for your first stove, it is really important that you do your first burn outside of your tent. Now, I know some of you won't care, but I highly advise it. From manufacturer, these stoves, you know, they normally have oil for shipping just so they don't rust out. There's could be chemicals on the stove from manufacturing. I have made the mistake of doing a first burn in my hot tent, the very first stove, very first hot tent I ever had, and it stunk. It stunk, and it was a canvas tent, so it took months to get that smell out of the fabric. It was gross. Yeah, so always do your first burn outside in an open, ventilated area. Do not do it in your tent, folks. Bad idea. That being said, because of those oils from manufacturing, if you really want to have a nice, clean-looking stove, what you want to do is after you set it up, give it a wipe down with a rag. So I'll bring you in close here for a second, but you can see my handprints on the top of the stove from me just touching it from where the oils are coming off onto my hand, or I'm leaving oil behind from my fingerprints. Now, I don't care overly much myself, but when you start your first burn, these stoves will pick up a patina. They will change color. So this will turn this gorgeous, gorgeous deep gray with purple hues through it. It's quite beautiful how a stainless steel stove, I would just call it seasons when you put heat to it. So all of those little fingerprints you have around your stove, they will stand out. They will stick out. I promise you. Now, if you want it to look pristine and beautiful, give it a wipe down. If not, just burn it. I don't care. I've had so many of them now that, you know, they'll eventually wear out, but it takes years. And I mean years. So anyway, we are going to get some wood. We're going to get this started, and we're going to see how this burns. It took a little bit longer than I expected. The wood I got is a bit damp still. It was just across the road as I was driving out here to test this out, so I figured why not. It's going now. As you can see, the bronzing starting to happen on the chimney where all the heat is going right at the moment because I have it fully open. That's the kind of patina that'll eventually cover the whole stove. And with hues of purple and stuff, it's really quite pretty. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. It's chilly out here, guys. The wind is picking up again. So there you have it. This is the Winnerwell Woodlander double view medium-sized stove. A few things about the stove itself, if I had to pick a negative. So out of the box, this hot plate that is removable for cooking, the underside of it was razor sharp. I had to sand it down with a piece of sandpaper. That's neither here nor there. There's a couple sharp edges. Other than that, fit and finish is beautiful on this stove. The welds are immaculate. It looks awesome. Everything functions fantastic. These heat sink dampers, all cool to the touch. You can handle them all day long. Awesome. The other thing I didn't really like about the stove, and it's not a break. Oh! It's not a make or break situation. Try to get through this video. As I was saying, the other thing I don't like about the stove, which is not a make or break situation for me, is when the legs are folded up, because of the shape of it, it doesn't sit flat, obviously. I'm surprised they didn't put a couple little feet on the front just to level it out when it's in storage, but driving out, it just rolls back and forth, flops on the side. Not ideal. I'm gonna have to buy the carry case for this stove just so it's not flopping around, smashing against all my other equipment. Those are the only two things that I really can say that I was not impressed about. Everything else, awesome stove. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna let this burn down, and I'm gonna set up camp and camp out here tonight. If you're interested in watching a camping video, I'm gonna shoot it tonight. You can swing on over. I will post a link in the end of this video and see what my entire setup looks like with this stove. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Do not hesitate. I do not mind. Let's get at it.